Hey there, I'm Jamie Smith with Save Pro Tools, and I wanted to share with you this evening a new add-on that is using, it replaces an old add-on that was the CF Unslider, and that one has lost its mobile support. So the developers of the excuse me, the Unslider jQuery plugin have stopped supporting that, and therefore it is no longer mobile friendly, and it's causing lots of problems. So I'm creating a new version that uses the Slick slider plugin, jQuery plugin, and it just makes it so that we can actually use it with ClickFunnels pages pretty easy. So I'm going to run through and show you how to set this up. It's super simple. So we've got a demo page here. Say what we want to have is maybe we want to have a couple of a stack of rows that actually slide where the entire we might have a section where the entire rows slide in a gallery format. Or maybe in this case, we've got a stack of images in one column that we want to have just show as a gallery and slide. In that one column, we want to have images. Say you could use this for a product layout where you've got product images on the left-hand side and your order form on the right-hand side. Could be a two-step order form, and your images just slide. That way people can kind of see that gallery. So this is how we set those things up. So here we've got, looking at this in the editor, we've just got a section here. And in this section, we've got two column rows. They could be one column rows. We could add just one column row in here if we wanted to. We can do a one column, and we can do a headline in there. Actually, let's just do a paragraph like that. Let's actually, let's make this a little bit more. And we'll just make that a little bit bigger, and let's just bump this up in size a little bit just so we have a little something to play with here. So we can do something like that. Okay, so now we've got 3 rows in here, and we want to have those 3 rows slide, show one at a time. And then we've got these images here, and let's modify a couple of these just to make them show that they are different. So if we do this, we'll make that testing. And then let's modify this one down here, and let's make it say something else as well. And let's go say testing 2. Okay, great. So now we've got a stack of images, a stack of rows. We want these things to slide through, correct? So we're going to go ahead and save this page. All we need to do is actually grab this code from the members area. If we go in and take a look, just grab this code. Don't need to do any configuration or anything like that in here. If you wanted to change, so maybe dots don't show on the page, you could set these things to set this to false. If you wanted to only slide through one time, you could set this infinite to false. But otherwise, I think you're probably going to want to just keep these things all set the way they are. I would recommend, the autoplay, again, if you wanted it to not start automatically, you could certainly set it to false, but I think that's what you're going to want to leave. So these things are pretty, defaults are pretty standard. So what you're going to do, the autoplay speed is the only one that you might want to change. If you wanted them to be visible a little bit longer, you could set this to, say, 5,000. This is in milliseconds. So the default is 3,000. So that means that at every 3 seconds, it's going to rotate to a new image or a new row or whatever. It's going to slide every 3 seconds. You could bump that down to 1,000 if you wanted to. That would be every second. Then it is going to slide. So this is in milliseconds. So 3,000 is 3 seconds, 1,000 is 1 second, 5,000 is 5 seconds, so on and so forth. But really, all you need to do is grab all that code and copy it. So I highlighted everything, I've copied it, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to settings, I'm going to go to tracking code, and then I am going to paste that code in there. So, excuse me. So I emptied that out. I'm going to paste my code in. That's what we've got there. And then the next step is the super important one. If you don't do this, nothing is going to work. What we need to do is actually go into the container, whatever is wrapping the things that I want to slide. So in this case, I want these rows to slide. So I need to go to the container that contains those rows. So they're in a section. So I need to go to that section, and I need to click on the gear icon, and I need to go to the Get CSS Info and click on that. And then I need to go to the CSS title, and I need to set it to CF-Slick-Slider. And then make sure and click the update button so that updates, and we're good to go there. And then in this case, I've got these in a column. I don't want to put it on the row. I don't want to put it on the section because it's only these things in this column that I want to have slide. So what I want to do is I want to go and I want to actually give the column the CSS title of CF Slick Slider. So I've got to do that a little bit differently with columns. So if you had a 2-column row, you're going to want to go to columns, and then you're going to want to find that column here. And that column is this one. And you'll notice as we hover over it, it's actually going to kind of highlight that blue box. That's our column that we want. If you just click on that name right there, and then go to Get CSS Info and set it to CF-Slick-Slider there, and click Update. You can see I'd already done that. That's why it shows up in columns. When you go to columns, it shows up as CF Slick Slider here, but you're probably going to see it left column, right column, whatever. So if I wanted this one column to be my slider, I would click on that and set it there. But this is the one we want. Just look for the little highlight and it'll show you which one it's going to go. So that's good there. And let me show you just another example of one you could do here that is for a 1-column or for for a full row here. Let's do a 1-column row. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and add an image here. We'll click on image, and then let's go ahead and do this. We're going to set this to, instead of 350, let's make this 750. There we go. And then I'm going to go to demo image 1. There we go. We'll do that, and then let's we just want to clone this out a few times. So let's actually let's give this a little bit of margin. Actually, we don't even need to do that because they're gonna stack on each other anyways. So let's go ahead and call this demo image 2. Don't worry about how I'm doing this stuff because it doesn't really matter. You're going to use real images. I'm just using fake ones. So we're just going to clone this out, and I'm going to go to demo image 3. And there we go. So now I have 3 images in a single row that I want to rotate. And so what I'm going to do is, in this case, before we did a column, and we also did an entire section. In this case, we've just got a 1-column row. So I need to set my CF Slick Slider name, the title on this row, because the row is, again, the container of the images. So we're going to go ahead and go here, and we're going to just highlight all this, do CF Slick Slider, and do Update, and then click Save. And now let's let that finish saving. And then let's go and do a preview. And now if we give it a second to load, now we'll notice that I have my rows at the top. They are sliding. They're sliding. They're sliding. And you'll notice that my 2-column row here, the images are sliding. And we'll notice that they are changing. So we've got, and they're looping, they're infinite. So it's going to loop all the way through. So there's a different one. It's going to go back to my testing, my 3x150, and then I should get my testing 2. There we go. And then my row down here that had the stack of 3 images is sliding as well. So that is how the CF Slick Slider works. Hopefully that makes sense. And I hope you put it to good use. Have a good night.